Hello, and thank you so much for the invitation, Renan, Leo. Thank you so much for the amazing hospitality. It's a big honor to be here. We're very excited. My name is Liran Atzmor. I'm a documentary film producer, and some of my films have participated in the Sundance Film Festival, Berlinale. And very rarely do I find a fiction project that I fall in love in such a way that I feel I cannot resist, and I have to leave the affection of real world into the realms of fiction. But the truth is that I'm so thrilled with this project because it's so much about my life and Moshe's life, and Moshe will continue from here.
Yes, wait. Okay, I'm gonna start this speech with a statement, if I may. Nobody wants to know anything about their parents' sex life. We are terrified of seeing signs of its existence. We're afraid of the way that it might impact us. We're afraid that we might be fascinated by it, or that we wouldn't be able to look away. Even when we grow up and start accepting our parents as human beings and accepting that they have sexual needs, it's still something that we are unable to cope with. Now, imagine a 12-year-old boy seeing his admired father having sex with a man in the showers of a town pool. Not only does Boaz, the protagonist of Independence, sees his father in a sexual act, but in 1987, in a small town of Holon, this specific sexual act is considered no less than abomination. Now, Boaz can't really delete this image from his head. This image haunts him, and no matter how hard he tries to repress it, he just can't. And in Israel, when you get to the age of 13, it's a very crucial age where you need your father's guidance to transform from a child into a man. And it's a very stressful time in your life for a boy. And I mean, even I myself feel that in a way I didn't fully accomplish that mission. And it's the time that you need your father's guidance the most. But Boaz doesn't want his father's guidance after the things that he's seen. He keeps this secret in him, and wait. And not only, not only does he feel resentful towards his father, he's also terrified that his father will inflict him and his two sisters and his mother with the AIDS virus. Now, this is 1987. It sounds ridiculous that someone would think that easily, because somebody is gay, he would inflict the AIDS virus. But in 1987, people were paranoid. I remember myself being terrified by shaving blades and toilet seats. And this paranoia is so extreme in Boaz that he actually is becoming a protector of his family, trying to push his father away from his sisters and especially from his mother, which eventually leads to a point where he actually tried to prevent his father to have sex with his mother. There's an actual scene like this. Eventually, Boaz exposes his father, and the family throws the father away in the most violent and humiliating way possible. And Boaz left alone in a family full of women, and he's supposed to grow up without his father's guidance and the women, in a way, urges him to become the father, the man his father supposedly wasn't. Now, all this is just one part of the film. And the second part of the film is 10 years later, when Boaz is already a young man. He's 22 years old, and he lives in a small apartment with his mother, helping her with her struggling business. But Boaz doesn't want to stay there in the small town of Holon. Boaz wants to find his independence, and he wants to leave his mother and move to Jerusalem and study psychology. But because of their financial issues, he needs his father's financial help. So he decides to search for his father and to ask for this help. But this is only an excuse, because the truth is that the reason that Boaz really is looking for his father is because he's been carrying this terrible guilt all of these years since he was 13. And now he's finally is ready to face his father and to face the things that he has done. So Boaz goes out on a journey and exposes himself into the world of the oppressed homosexuals of 1996. And especially goes to the place that is an infamous gay cruising place in Tel Aviv called the Independence Park. There he sees all the things that he was extremely terrified of, but now he sees them as human beings. And the homosexuals that are in the park are in that moment in history where they finally, at least in Israel, that they finally have a sense of community. They're starting to lift their heads up. There, Boaz actually finds his father, and the two reunite, and they go through this night of self-discovery and discovering each other, and dealing with the impact that their separation had on who they are as men. So this is kind of like the storyline. But I want to say that this film is a very personal film. A lot of the script is based on my childhood experiences, and mainly on my unfulfilled need for my father's guidance. And I think that in a way, we usually think that we need our parents while growing up. We need them to guide us when we're teenagers and stuff. But I believe that most of us never stop needing that father's or mother's guidance. That's why I chose to tell the story in a way that goes back and forth between the present and the past, making it clear that our own ununderstood conflicts as children will eventually become our deep issues as adults. Now, I want to talk about the scene that we made and that you're about to see. It's a scene where it takes place in 1996, after Boaz was following his father through the Independence Park. A police raid took place, and the two men, Boaz and his father, are arrested, and they are put in a police station in Tel Aviv, just waiting to get out. So Boaz and his father are sitting in the same room without Boaz's father knowing that his son is right next to him. I'll just remind you, they haven't seen each other for 10 years. So, yeah, thank you so much, and I hope you enjoyed the scene.
משפחתי האהובה, אורחים וחברים מדליקים, לכולכם ערב טוב ונעים. היום הוא יום מיוחד עבורי, בו אני נכנס למשהו של חיים חדשים. חיי בגרות, מברך בשמחה, ברור שנהיה...
שוטרת! את יכולה להגביר את המוזיקה?
שתגביר את המוזיקה, די, נמאס לי.
אתה אוהב לשמוע את זה? אתה אוהב לשמוע את זה?
אני אוהב, אני רוצה לרקוד.
הלו!
אתה רוצה שאני אקרא לה? שוטרת!
שוטרת! את יכולה להגביר את המוזיקה?
אני לא יודעת אם אתה צוחק מזה.
רציני? אתה ראית את הסוער?
איזה?
ההוא?
סמי?
לא. השני.
הסוהר השני?
השני.
לא ראיתי אף סרט שם. לא ראיתי אף סרט שם.
סליחה?
אתה ואת הקטנצ'יק. אתה לא מתאר.
אפשר בבקשה כוס מים?
גמנה?
לא.
היה את הקטן שהוא קטן חבל בזמן.
מי רצה מים?
אני הייתי אחד מהם פעם אחת, זה היה כאן בכניסה. ואת החברה שלנו תפוחי אדמה. אתה לא יודעת? אני
רציני?
טוב.
לא. תסתכל עליי.
תסתכל.
למה אין לו מגבירה?
תבקש.
ביקשתי.
טוב, אתה יודע, אחי, בולגריה.
בולגריה. גם אמא שלי בולגריה. טוב.
למה הוא בוכה?
הוא מוחק את דיקי פה. די כבר.
אתה בסדר? כן. כואב לך?
שוטרת,
לא. הכל בסדר.
בלי תגבירי את המוזיקה.
אתה בוכה בגלל השוטרים? מה זה שטויות כל זה? אם עוד שנייה מוציאים אותנו מפה. זה רק בשביל להפחיד. אל תיתן את הסיפוק הזה. אני אומר לך, זו פעם שלישית שלי פה כבר. אתה שומע אותי? זה לא מזיז לך.
יכולה להגביר בבקשה את המוזיקה.
אתה מבין?
קצת. לעשות לא משמח.
תחייך. לא קרה כלום, תחייך, נו. כן, תחייך.
אני רוצה שתגביר מוזיקה, אז תגביר מוזיקה.
תודה.
Yeah, please.
Hi. First of all, I love your voice. Your writing and everything is so intimate, and you really can feel your characters. Even now, I found myself maybe even out of context. And also, I saw recently a short film you did, which was you go back to 2 time zones in one movie. And first of all, I thought if you had to give up one storyline, which one you would give up? And then I got the answer with the scene you picked. And I was wondering if the childhood would be a video, home video, or it will...
No, it would. I put the home video in the scene just to give the feeling of that combination of going back and forth, but it would be just filmed regularly, just like the other scenes.
But are you sure like both time zones are necessary, or you're just not willing to give one up? And maybe there's maybe 2 films sometimes in the script.
I actually tried to give one up, and I realized that there's something, that there's this mechanism that actually works for me, and I think that it's a huge challenge to actually make it work towards the film, because usually, sometimes in films like this, there's one part that is a little bit less interesting. But I think that the connection between as I said, between the conflicts of the Boaz as a child and his and the way that he is in the present day, that you slowly realize things about him, and it's the mechanism of the film, and it works in a way that when you start the film looking at Boaz in present day, you think other things, other complete things. You're assuming that he's gay. You're assuming, and the longer the film goes, you are discovering a layer after layer the true pain that he's carrying. And I think that this mechanism is very challenging, and there's a lot of work to do. And that's the reason why I'm been working on this script for so long. But I believe that the outcome would be perfect. I hope so. Yeah.
Sorry, I don't have any negative comments on your presentation, and I was also very impressed about the quality of the script and your honesty. And I just have a simple question to your producer. How are you gonna structure the finance? Are you looking for outside partners? The budget is a little bit higher in comparison to other Israeli films. So what is your plan?
We're counting on you. I heard so many good things, so it would be great to collaborate. This is part of it.
I don't moderate this part.
Renan
Okay.
just
Do
told
that
me I should ask more questions, you know. So sorry.
We're in the beginning of the dialogue of financing. We have support of development fund here in Israel by the Rabinovich Foundation already. And we are starting our recruitment of funding here in Israel, but we will be very happy, and I think the way that we can materialize it in the vision of Moshe needs an European partner or an international partner that will support us on this and will go with us on this. So yes, we're launching the international dialogue here, and we hope to get friends on board.
Yeah, I was especially asking because you're a prestigious documentary film producer, and so you have expertise, but maybe it needs to have another partner, a sales company, or a strong partner attached to it.
It's also a periodic film. This is part of the reason that the cost is it, and it's two periods, and there's the question of style of each period. So, but we'll talk more.
Okay.
See, Gabriel.
For sure.
Thank you very much.
There is no escape. Thank you very much.
Thank you.